Hello, New Book Squad! Let's talk about November releases. Hello, fellow book nerds, this is Gabby, and today we are talking about all of the exciting books coming out in November. I do this every month, so if you're new, subscribe so that you don't miss out. But we have like 9 books to talk about, so let's kick it off. So first book I'm very excited about coming out is Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. So this one's coming out on November 1st, and it's a sci-fi LGBTQ adult romance. This was the same author as Winter's Orbit, and it's kind of in the same universe, but not a sequel. But Winter's Orbit was pretty fun. I really liked the romance, so I'm excited to see what this new novel has in store. I really hope the romance hits as well as the first book did, but this is the synopsis. Rich socialite, inveterate flirt, and walking disaster, Tenel Halkana can read minds. Tenel, like all neuromodified readers, is a security threat on his own. But when controlled, readers are a rare asset. Not only can they read minds, but they can navigate chaotic space, the maelstorms surrounding the gateway to the wider universe. Conscripted into the military under dubious circumstances, Tenel is placed in the care of Lieutenant Surti Yeni, a duty-bound soldier, principled leader, and the son of a notorious traitor general. Whereas Tenel can read minds, Surit can influence them. Like all other neuromodified architects, he can impose his will onto others, and he's under orders to control Tenel by merging their minds. Surit accepted a suspicious promotion track request out of desperation, but he refuses to go through with his illegal orders to sync and control an unconsenting Tenel. So they lie. They fake a sync bond and plan Tenel's escape. Their best chance arrives with salvage retrieval mission into chaotic space, the very neuromodification lab that Surit's traitor mother destroyed 20 years ago. And among the rabble is a treasure both terrible and unimaginably powerful, one that upends a decades-old power struggle and begins a war. Next book looked super weird and disturbing, and I'm into it. So it's called Sugaring Off by Jamie Pacton. It's also coming out November 1st, and it's a YA mystery thriller. And I really like the cover, and the description also sounds good. Left partially deaf by an early childhood tragedy that ended in her father's incineration, 17-year-old Owl is now a tracker, an explorer, a wildlife enthusiast, and always her freest self while hiking the steep forested acres surrounding her aunt and uncle's maple sugar farm. Now her home. All and her aunt and uncle never speak of the brutal attack that brought her to them. On the day she confronts a stranger trespassing among the maples, All's sheltered existence is blown wide open by Cody, the magnetic, dangerous young man hired to help with the sugaring off. Cody seems to see her, the real her, in a way no one else does. Together they challenge each other, learn to question their preconceptions, and risk a romance their families are desperate to stop. I don't know what sugaring off is, but it sounds interesting. Next up we have The Vermilion Emporium by Jamie Pacton. Also, I made a mistake, didn't I? Only one of these is by Jamie Pacton, I'm assuming. So Sugaring Off is by Gillian French. Anyway, The Vermilion Emporium by Jamie Pacton is coming out on November 1st. It's a YA LGBT fantasy. On the morning Twain, a lonely boy with a knack for danger discovers a strand of starlight on the cliffs outside Severon. A mysterious curiosity shop appears in town. Meanwhile, Quinta, the ordinary daughter of an extraordinary circus performer, chases rumors of the shop, the Vermilion Emporium, desperate for a way to live up to her mother's magical legacy. When Quinta meets Twain outside the Emporium, 2 things happen. 1. Quinta starts to fall for the Starlight Boy, who uses his charms to hide his scars. 2. They enter the store and discover a book that teaches them how to weave starlight into lace. Soon their lace catches the eye of Casorina, the ruler of Severon. She commissions Quinta and Twain to make her a starlight dress, and will reward them handsomely enough to make their dreams come true. However, they can't sew a dress without more material, and the secret to Starlight's origins have been lost for centuries. As Quinta and Twain search the Emporium for answers, they discover the secret might not have been lost, but destroyed, and likely for a good reason. Next up is The Stars Undying by Emery Robin, and that's one coming out on November 8th, and it's an adult LGBT sci-fi. A spectacular space opera debut, perfect for readers of Anne Leckie's Ancillary Justice and Arkady Martin's A Memory Called Empire. I have read neither, but this is what inspired me to add this. Inspired by the lives and loves of Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. Yes, please. So, this is the actual synopsis though. Princess Alt Garcia has lost everything. After a bloody civil war, her twin sister has claimed not just the crown of the planet Sizayet, but the pearl of its prophecy, a computer that contains the immortal soul of Sizayet's god. Stripped of her birthright, Garcia flees the planet, just as Matthias Seiran, commander of the interstellar empire of Seaio, arrives in deadly pursuit with his volatile lieutenant Anita. When Garcia and the Sieran's path collide, Garcia sees an opportunity to win back her planet, her god, and her throne. If she can win the commander and his right-hand officer over first. But talking her way into Sieran's good graces and his bed is only the beginning. Dealing with the most powerful man in the galaxy is almost as dangerous as war. And Garcia is quickly torn between an alliance that fast becomes more than political and the wishes of the god, or machine, that whisper in her ear. For Sizayet's sake and her own, Garcia will need to become more than a princess with a silver tongue. She will have to become a queen, as history has never seen before, even if it breaks an empire. Very excited. I mean, there's like a another Cleopatra and Julius Caesar retelling coming. I think it's from Chloe Gang. So I am very, very excited for that one. Safe to say. But this also sounds pretty interesting. And it's like, I've lately quite been into sci-fi. I don't know, especially like identity and all that kind of stuff. Sci-fi, if that even makes sense. It just sounds interesting. On the topic of interesting sci-fi, Africa Risen, a new era of speculative fiction by many authors, but the main three editors are Sheree, Renée, Thomas, Oghenechovwe, Donald Ekpeki, and Zelda Knight. And this one's coming out on November 15th, and it's an adult sci-fi anthology. So it says, from an award-winning team of editors comes an anthology of 32 original stories showcasing the breadth of fantasy and science fiction from Africa and the African diaspora. A group of cabinet ministers query a supercomputer containing the minds of the country's ancestors. A child robot on a dying planet uncovers signs of fragile new life. A descendant of Rain Goddess inherits her grandmother's ability to change her appearance, and perhaps the world. Created in a legacy of the seminal award-winning anthology series Dark Matter, Africa Risen celebrates the vibrancy, diversity, and reach of African and Afro-diasporic SFF and reaffirms that Africa is not rising, it's already here. Sounds amazing. Like, I've been really into sci-fi short stories. Not that I've read that many, but I did read Memory Librarian, which was by multiple authors. It did have like a theme, like Janet Monet's album, but it was so good, and it was also all Black authors, and it was really good. So I'm very excited for this one, and the cover's gorgeous. So I'm thinking I'm gonna pick up like a physical copy, but it just looks so amazing. Next book I am so excited about. It is a sequel, so we're only gonna talk about it briefly, but it's Bloodmarked, which is book 2 in the Legendborn series, and it's by Tracy Deonn, and it's coming out November 8th. Oh man, I got confused. That should have gone early. Anyway, it's a YA fantasy.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
No. Anyway, it's a YA fantasy, and book 1 was... I don't remember. But anyway, it's a retelling of King Arthur, and it's really good. We follow a girl who goes to like early college and gets involved with this Arthurian society. Little does she know, it's all real. It's all very exciting. Book 1 was so good. So I'm very... Yeah, it's called Legendborn. I mean, so stupid. It was called Legendborn. Okay, next book is called Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse. So Rebecca Roanhorse is the author of Black Sun, which I do have, but I've not read. She's the author of this. They are the author of this, I'm not actually sure. This is the author's new book, and it's coming out on November 15th as well. And it's an adult historical fantasy, and it sounds amazing. So let me tell you about it. High in the remote mountains, the town of Goetia is booming as prospectors from near and far come to mine the powerful new element, divinity. Divinity is the remains of the body of the rebel Abaddon, who fell to earth during Heaven's War, and it powers the world's most inventive and innovative technologies, ushering in a new age of progress. However, only the descendants of those that rebelled, called fallen, possess the ability to see the rich lodes of precious element. That makes them necessary evil among the good and righteous people called the elect. And Goetia, a town segregated by ancestry and class. Celeste and Mariel are two fallen sisters, bound by blood but raised in separate worlds. Celeste grew up with her father, passing in privileged elect society, while Mariel stayed with their mother in the fallen slums of Goetia. Upon her father's death, Celeste returns to Goetia and reunites with Mariel. Mariel is a great beauty with an angelic voice, and Celeste, wrecked by guilt for leaving her sister behind, becomes her fiercest protector. When Mariel is accused of murdering a virtue, the powerful order of the Archangels that rule Goetia, Celeste must take on the role of Advocatus Diaboli, Devil's Advocate, and defend her sister in the secretive courts of the virtue. Celeste, aided by ex-lover Abraxas, who was once one of the rebels' great generals, sets out to prove Mariel innocent. But powerful forces among the virtuous and the elect, mining barons, don't want Celeste prying into their business, and Mariel has secrets of her own. This sounds a little complicated, but also a lot amazing, so I will take it. Next book is The Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard. Aliette de Bodard. So this one's coming out on November 24th, and it's an LGBT adult sci-fi. So some more adult books in this one, which makes me very happy. But this is the synopsis. She, bookmaker, data analyst, mother, scavenger. But those days are over. Now her ship has just been captured by the Red Banner pirate fleet, famous for their double dealing and cruelty. Jichi expects to be tortured to death, only for the pirates' enigmatic leader, Ricefish, to arrive with a different and shocking proposition: an arranged marriage between Shishi and herself. Ricefish, sentient ship, Wait, what? Ricefish, sentient ship, leader of the infamous Red Banner pirate fleet, wife of the Red Scholar. Or at least she was the latter before her wife died under suspicious circumstances. Now isolated and alone, Ricefish wants Shishi's help to find out who struck against them and why. Marrying Shishi means Ricefish can offer Shishi protection in exchange for Shishi's technical fluency. A business arrangement with nothing more to it. But as the investigation goes on, Ricefish and Shishi find themselves falling for each other. As the interstellar war against piracy intensifies and 5 fleets start fighting each other, they will have to make a stand and to decide what kind of future they have together. I'm sorry, a sentient ship. So, is this a romance between a ship and a person? Yes, you can tell I've never read this before. I saw the cover and I was like, yes, please. But like, what? How is that sentient ship? I'm so confused. Okay, we need to move on because my brain's about to explode. We're gonna talk about the last book, A Wilderness of Stars by Shea Ernshaw, coming out November 29th, YA fantasy romance, and Shea Ernshaw is the author of Wicked Deep, Winterwood, something dark. Anyway, I've read a couple of the author's books and they were pretty good, so I'm excited about this one. But this is the synopsis. Vega has lived in the valley her whole life, forbidden by her mother to leave the safety of its borders because of the unknown threats waiting for her in the wilds beyond. But after her mother dies, Vega begins to see stars falling from the sky. It's an omen she can no longer ignore, forcing her to leave the protective boundaries of the valley. But the outside world turns out to be much more terrifying than Vega could have imagined. People are gravely sick, they lose their eyesight and their hearing just because they lose their life. Just before they lose their lives. What Vega keeps to herself is that she is the last astronomer, a title carried from generation to generation. And she is the only one who carries the knowledge of the stars. Knowledge that could hold the key to the cure. And so when locals spot the tattoo on Vega's neck in the shape of a constellation, the mark of an astronomer, chaos erupts as the threats her mother warned her about become all too real. Fearing for her life, Vega will be rescued by a girl named Cricket, who will lead her to Noah, a boy marked by his own mysterious tattoos. On the run from the men who are hunting her, Vega, Cricket, and Noah will set out across the plains in search of the cure that stars speak of. But as the lines between friend and prisoner begin to blur, Vega must decide whether she will protect the sacred knowledge of an astronomer, or if she will risk everything to save them all. Sounds interesting, although a little young, but maybe that's just my imagination. Also, someone named Cricket, I think, brings it down age-wise in my head. Anyway, those are all the books that I am excited about coming out kind of soon. I really hope you found something you were interested in. Let me know which book you're most looking forward to. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you could comment, like, and subscribe, I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!